interrupt away.
Dawson, can people develop compassion? I mean, I know this sounds maybe like a really basic question, but I'm thinking to myself, as somebody who's, a few steps down the path, that maybe they just haven't had the ability to develop compassion, or haven't developed the kind of compassion that they could see as benefit to them, that could build their immune system, that could help them to just enjoy their lives more. I mean, what else is there anyway? Can we do that at whatever age we're at?
So this study is not published yet, but some colleagues, neuroscience colleagues of mine, have been doing a study, a pretty large-scale MRI study at Bond University in Australia, and they've been having people do that same 22-minute meditation that we put here in chat, we're sharing with you, and they're doing MRIs before and after people using that technique for 6 weeks. So they have 6 weeks now of using that continually, and structurally, their brains are changing. So the part of the brain that is most responsible for compassion is the insula. Now, we probably know that there are 4 lobes to the neocortex. The insula is quite big. It's often called the 5th lobe of the neocortex, but I won't go to brain anatomy, actually. I won't geek out on that one, but anyway, it's important. It's the insula, and it has these neurons in it called von Economo neurons, which are only found in highly social species. Only a few species have these. Chimpanzees, dolphins, elephants, highly social species, whales, have von Economo neurons in their brains. And so these are the neurons of compassion. These are the neurons that let us feel what someone else is feeling, interpret what other people are experiencing. And so what we found in that MRI study was that after 6 weeks of using that meditation that is now in chat, which I strongly recommend you download and use for the next 6 weeks, we found changes in brain. Now, I'm not talking about brain physiology, how you feel. I'm talking about brain anatomy. I'm talking about the hard wiring in here. After 6 weeks, when those people went back in the MRI, their von Economo neurons and their insula were lit up like Christmas trees. It was a startling MRI image. The guy that was running the MRI study was like emailing me back. It was like he was like jumping up all over the room. He couldn't believe it, because that insula that had been, functioning at average level before that, they had average amounts of compassion. After doing that meditation, I'm pointing to chat over and over, that meditation for a few weeks, their insula was lit up like a Christmas tree. Not only that, the part of the brain, that was the part of the brain that was really active, the compassion lobe. There was part of the brain that was dark, that was switched off like it turned off a light switch. And that was the part that thinks about I, me, mine. And that part of the brain that thinks about I, me, mine, selfing, the selfing self. I talk about this in my new book, Bliss Brain isn't out yet, but it's all about the states of bliss. The selfing self part of the brain is called the mid-prefrontal cortex. It's right behind here. And it's what makes you suffer. You think about yourself. You think about your body. You think about your money. You think about your worries. You think about your history. You think about your past. You catastrophize that by projecting it into the future. That's all the job of the prefrontal cortex, which is grand if you're a caveman huddled in a cave 18,000 years ago at the end of the last ice age, and the Neanderthals outside who might get you, and tigers who are hunting you, and your prey. It's really good to be preoccupied with self and self-survival. For us today, makes us miserable. That part of the brain in those people doing that meditation for those weeks just turned off. So their self-preoccupation part of the brain shut down, their compassion part of the brain lit up. And guess what happens when you feel compassion for somebody else? When I think about the people in China who I made that meditation for in February, when I got a hold of people and said, I've done these free meditations, will you translate them into French, German, Dutch, Spanish? And they said, absolutely, we'll do that for you, Dr. Church, free of charge. And they did that out of the compassion of their hearts. When there is this global outpouring of compassion, guess who gets the rebound effect? Me. Yeah. Us. When we're compassionate to other people, we wind up being compassionate to ourselves. That act of compassion that you do to someone else is projected self-compassion, projected self-love. You're really loving yourself. You're being compassionate. You're saying, even though I'm so fearful, I'm so full of self-doubt, I'm so unaware of what to do next, I don't know what the future holds, there are all these scary things going on out there, I can feel my own love for myself. And then suddenly that compassion rebounds to you, and you aren't just compassionate for those people out there, you're compassionate for yourself. You let yourself off the hook. You quit being so self-judgmental, self-critical, and suddenly you have a much better life. You have far more relaxation, your cortisol goes down, your immunoglobulins go up by, again, 113% in a week of intensively doing this. And so, absolutely,
I'm looking at the chat.
Affect our bodies.
I'm looking at the chat, Dawson, and I think what would be really optimal in this moment is if people could experience what you're talking about. So I would love to have them experience some of what we've come to experience with you and the kind of work we're talking about. I start every day with a meditation. I was not so boldly proclaimed to the world in my TED Talk that I'm a crummy meditator. I am no longer a crummy meditator. That's not the case. And as Dr. Wolford said, whether it's 5 minutes or 20 minutes, doing it is far better in so many ways than just not doing it, especially if you think you can't do it. So I'd love for people to experience what a short meditation could be like. And if we can include some tapping as well. I know Denise has a question about tapping, and I use tapping now every day because of you. So I'd love it if people could have a sense of what it's like, and they can all relax from wherever they are and experience it firsthand.
How long, Adam?
I'd say let's do this for, if we can do it somewhere in the vicinity of 8 to 10 minutes. I want to be able to take a question or two. We've got a few, but I think more importantly right now is that people can really, have that experience of what the meditation is like for them. So somewhere in that, even if it's more 6-7 minutes, that'd probably be working better in our schedule.
I'm going to just go ahead and set my timer, and let's see how quickly we can get there and get out of it. So I also am a failed meditator, and I talk about this in Bliss Brain, but I then got science. And when I got science, I looked at what science is about meditation, and most of what we try and do in meditation is ineffective. But the 7 things we're about to do are what science says really gets you in a deep state quickly. So do these things together. First of all, start with your eyes open and just tap with me over here on the side of your hand. Oh, first of all, I'm sorry, one little thing. How afraid are you right now? Think about the worst of the epidemic right now. Think about how afraid you are, how much fear there is in your body and your mind, and give it a score from 0 to 10, with 0 being no fear, 10 being the most possible fear. So if you read the newspaper this morning or went on a news site, heaven forbid, this morning, think back to that moment, give yourself a score, 0 through 10, write down your score. Very important why we didn't do this, because it's going to change, okay? So now tap over here and just say silently in your mind, even though I have this level of fear, I've survived other problems, I've survived other crises, and I came through. My fear is real. It's based on actual events that are happening. Those events are objectively true, and they're scary. That's why I'm scared. But I have survived a whole lot of other challenges in my life. So far, I've survived this one too. Tap here on your governing meridian, fear. Just think fear. Tap here on your bladder meridian, fear. Tap on the side of your eye, all these fearful things happening in the world. And your eye. They're true. They're the reason for my fear. Tap at the end of your governing meridian. No one could possibly be happy with all these fearful things happening. Tap under your lower lip on your central meridian. I have all this fear. This is your kidney meridian here, right below your collarbone. And these things are making me fearful and unhappy. Tap on your arm about 4 inches down, 10 centimeters down. Fear. One more time over here. And even though I'm fearful, I have survived many other challenges. And there's a 99 to 1 chance I'll survive this one too. Close your eyes, stop tapping, take a deep breath, feel the breath moving in and out through your body. Imagine breathing in and out through your heart. And slow your breathing to 6 seconds per in-breath. And 6 seconds per out-breath. Breathing in through your heart, 6 seconds. Breathing out through your heart, 6 seconds. Breathing in through your heart, 6 seconds. Breathing out through your heart, 6 seconds. Relax your tongue on the floor of your mouth. Imagine a big, empty space between your eyes. Breathing in through your heart, 6 seconds. Breathing out through your heart, 6 seconds. Tongue relaxed on the floor of your mouth. Big empty space between your eyes. And imagine the life force of the universe pouring in through the top of your head, giving you life, giving you energy, inspiring your breath as you breathe in and out through your heart. Feel the energy in your heart, that glowing bowl of energy, and send a beam of your heart energy to a person or a place that makes you feel wonderful. A person or place that makes you feel loved. Send your heart energy beam to that person or place. Tongue relaxed on the floor of your mouth. Big empty space between your eyes. Breathe in through your heart, 6 seconds. Breathing out through your heart, 6 seconds. As this beam of love and compassion connects you to that person or place. And then gently detach your energy beam from that person or place. Bring it back into your body and feel it in your own heart center. Become aware again of that beam of the universe's love for you, life energy pouring in through the top of your head, into your body, into your cells, into your energy field. Filling your body with love, creativity, light, inspiration, and joy. Tongue relaxed on the floor of your mouth. Big empty space between your eyes. And now with the next 3 breaths, begin to return your attention back to your body. Notice the volume of space between your eyes, the volume of space inside your head, neck, shoulders, arms, hands, torso, abdomen, volume of space inside your legs, feet. With the next breath, open your eyes, look around you, notice what time of day it is. Notice the largest object in your environment. Notice the square object in your environment. And with the next breath, bring yourself fully into the here and now. And here we are again. Feel how good your body feels. And I'd like you, after that 10-minute exercise, to score your fear now. 0 to 10. What number is your fear after having spent just 10 minutes tapping and meditating, doing those 7 steps of what we call, in the research community, it's called eco-meditation, because every one of those steps has been shown in research to be effective. So write down your new number, and I'd love you to post your first number and your second number in chat right now so I can see how you changed. Let me know where you were before and where you are now after that exercise. Adam, that was 10 minutes exactly.
Awesome.
8 to 1, 8 to 4, 7 to 4, 5 to 0, 3 to 0, 10 to 3, 8 to 2, 6 to 2, 5 to 3, 5 to 0, 4 to 3, 7 to 2, 6 to 0, 5 to 2, 0 to 0. I think you meant 10 to 0, 6 to 2, 10 to 3, 7 to 1. I mean, that's it. It's just that simple. And that's why I love science, because science just gives you these techniques, you do them, and they work.
Yes. Dawson, I can't thank you enough for what you're doing yourself to create more peace in the world, because more than anything else, I think that if we're able to show up in our own bodies, as you said at the beginning, in a peaceful state, we are ourselves more immune to the things that we're in fear of anyway. The COVID is one thing, but frankly, we're in fear of lots of things on a regular basis. And anxiety, low level or not so low levels of anxiety, it's a real issue for people daily. And clearly when we're in that state of fight or flight, when we're under stress, our immune systems are not at their best, and these viruses, and we're not just talking about COVID virus, the virus of negative thinking, the virus of negative people, the virus of things to do with fears and scarcity around money, but they are opportunistic. And when we are ourselves as a host more receptive to those things because our immune systems are depleted, we're in a little bit of trouble there. So Any final things that you'd like to say about just how people can take what you've shared with us today and create a small step moving forward? And of course, there'll be a gift for everyone that'll be part of the email that folks will receive tomorrow. And we'll have more ways for them to access the meditations that I know you have on your EFT site, as well as information, hopefully, about the new book, Bliss Brain, that's coming out. But final thoughts from you, Dawson.
When I do live workshops, which will start doing again in September, people come on stage and tell me their stories, Adam. They work with me in our online. We have like weekly tapping circles where people tap together, sometimes 1,000 people or more, doing this in a webinar on Zoom like this. And people have so much self-doubt, self-fear. And I just hear those stories and they hurt my heart, just how much people are carrying around, what burdens they're carrying around. And so my main intention in doing this work, what gets me up and excited every morning, is that we don't have to live our lives that way. We don't have to live in fear. We don't have to live with the resilience sapping, immune system sapping, antibody sapping, psychological and spiritual burdens that we do. We can liberate ourselves from them, and it's as simple as a daily meditation. Just tap and meditate every morning, and you'll see after just a little while that your whole life starts to change on the outside. In Mind to Matter, I talk about how as we change inside, as those molecules change, as our brains change, that our lives start to shift outside. Our work, our money, our worldviews, our spirituality, our love relationships, everything starts to change. And it all begins with a deliberate act of waking up in the morning. And before you bring in information from the outside world, bring in information from non-local mind, because that's where love is found. That's where compassion is found. That's where happiness is found. You download that into your operating system every morning, and you start the day with that in your heart, your mind, and your energy field, and your whole life starts to change. So that is my fervent wish for you, is you love yourself enough to simply set your alarm that half hour earlier every day. That's how I began doing it, half hour earlier every day. Do that practice. And what research shows us, that in just a few weeks, literally, your brain will start to remodel. You'll become a happier and more resilient person. And you'll look back on this time and say, you'll tell your grandchildren, I was part of the pandemic of compassion.
The pandemic of compassion. Wow. Dawson, thank you so much, brother, for everything. And yes, we're really grateful for you. Lots of praise, lots of love. And I'm just checking out the chat. There's tons of love coming your way, brother.